The Road to Paradise Gold Coast training series is brought to you by the Running Centre. Whether it's the latest shoes, nutrition gear, or their personalised biofit process to help pick the right shoe for you, the experts at TRC are the ones to trust to help you achieve your running goals. Use code WALT15 for 15% off your purchase via the TRC online store, excluding electronics and nutrition. The Running Centre. Let's move together.
This episode is brought to you by Bix Nutrition and Hydration and the newly established Reach PB Sports. Bix products deliver the perfect balance of carbohydrates, electrolytes, and micronutrients with a light, clean, natural taste ideal for endurance training, racing, and recovery. Reach products give you what it takes to push beyond your reach over and over again, setting new benchmarks, breaking them over and over again, redefining and reinventing your limits with the essential nutrition you need to reach higher. Use code WARP for 20% off your next order of Bix and Reach products. Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 4, the grand finale of Road to Paradise. I'm sure you can hear my kids screaming in the background, but we'll continue on. We are recording on Wednesday, 16th of July, some 10 days after Gold Coast Marathon, and we have all had time to process the results, heal physically and mentally, and for some, keep the fire burning and set new goals in the not too distant future. It was a big weekend away from the kids, the dogs, work responsibilities, with some big results, and I'm sure many lessons learned off the back of it. We've got plenty to talk about, so let's get stuck right into it. I spoke to this bloke the other night on the weekly record, and hopefully we can get a bit more insight about his race, and narrowly missing out on the main goal of sub 3, but a 3:01:02 is nothing to sniff at. Few tears and a 5-minute PB. Simon Pham, how are you?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. The tears are dry. I don't know if that's because of the 9 litres of fluid I sweated out on that Sunday, but no, I am motivated, ready to go again, and I'll share a bit of that later.
Awesome. Very good. A solo trip without the fam, and more importantly, without the pram. Apparently, the accommodation wasn't quite up to scratch, but still managed to stitch together a great race and tough out the final 12 Ks with a dicky leg to run a gutsy 3:17:19. Rosie Sperling, how are you?
Hey guys, I'm good. Yeah, that accommodation was character building before the race even started, but I'll let you in on the lowdown later.
Yes, please. Looking forward to that. Now, this one was a long time coming. A series of PBs over the past few months in the lead up to Gold Coast had this man cooking on race day. A blistering 2:27:16, a Tokyo qualifier, a top 50 finish, and from what I understand, the second fastest Filipino currently running marathons. Karlos Aquino, how are you going, mate?
Thank you so much. We recovered from that race, but still soaking in that 2:27. I don't know how I did it. To be honest, it's bizarre to think that pace I can do. So doesn't make any sense in the training, but when you get there, it just happens because of the crowd, the group that you have, the taper, the determination, and yeah, marathon is beautiful.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
the aura farming worked.
Yep, the aura. We're trying. There's more from this.
Very good.
Move forward.
Looking forward to hearing all about it.
Yep.
And finally, our star of the show, and who managed to get away with a race weekend with her husband Scott, running 2:50:28 for 27th female, a podium in the age category, and from what I hear, the life of the after party. Lauren French, how are you?
Oh yeah, I'm proud for that last sentence. That's not like me.
I did see a photo floating around the messages a little bit later in the day, and looking forward to hearing all about the what was discussed at the pub afterwards. Very good, very good. All right, well, Simon and I spoke about the race on the race weekend briefly on Monday as part of our weekly record. I found it was like a really special weekend. It was my first time to the Gold Coast, and it absolutely did not disappoint. For some reason, I elected to commute from Brisbane, which resulted in like a 3-hour train ride. The expo was full of energy. You could smell the money being spent, and along with a little hint of Lynx Africa. Look, I felt like the hotel I picked would have fit right in on the Vegas Strip. The pillows provided weren't all that fantastic, and the acoustics on the windows left something to be desired. But in all seriousness, it was a wonderful weekend, seeing so many familiar faces. Having the opportunity to spectate the half marathon on the Saturday was a massive highlight for me personally. And then, having the opportunity to enjoy a beer with friends was the perfect way to cap off a stellar weekend. Look, before we get into race recaps, it would just be great to hear about your experiences in that week. Like, when did you fly in? Did your accommodation have rats? Did you go to the movies solo as often as I did? Did you see Brian Lipp at the expo? Did you enjoy a 6-hour flight home? So, plenty of stuff to talk about. Loz, maybe you could start us off. I think last we spoke, you were feeling a bit rough around the edges in race week, it looked as though you went for a few jogs up and down the coast in the days leading up. Did things come together for you race week, and how did you spend the days before the race?
Yeah, I was eager to get on that plane, to be honest. My two boys were not very well, and I got call-ups from school to come pick them up, and it was, my youngest had quite a bad temperature Wednesday night, great timing. So we were at the doctor's because he was with my parents, obviously, but that the next day. However, it all worked out. He was fine. He went back to school with a bit of Nurofen in him. Nice. And things, Scott and I got on the plane, and I just told myself, I knew Mum and Dad were with him, so we'd be all right. So we headed off. We got to the Brisbane. We went straight to Brisbane. We were on the same plane as Dee and her husband Mike. So that made the transport to the Gold Coast really smooth, with Mike having a car. So we got his work car, and we just had some pizza in Brisbane. We did arrive late into the Gold Coast. The flight was delayed and things. That's out of our control. And it was just nice to be able to tell myself, you can have a sleep in, you don't have the kids. And we enjoyed that time. Scott was racing, which is news for me. I'm usually the one who just races, so I had to remember that it wasn't just about me. And that was new, and it was fun. I could see he was excited, and it really did make it I just tried to remind myself how lucky we both were to be over there together, doing this, what we love doing, and healthy and fit. The kind of cold, the cough I had, it was really good. It did ease off. I felt heaps better, and I trusted that I was good to go.
Like when you arrived in Goldie, what day was that? Sorry, Loz, was that Wednesday or Thursday?
No, we left Thursday around 2 p.m. And we got into the Goldie quite late at around like 11 that night. Yep. It was late one. We had a bit of a sleep in, had a jog on Friday. Scott has some good friends there, so we caught up with a couple of his mates, and he wanted to do some shopping, which I avoided. I said, we do not shop 2 days before a marathon looking for your race tights. And so, I had to teach him a few things along the way, and he didn't buy any new things. He loved the expo, and so that was about it. So I also enjoyed Saturday morning. I went down, I said, let's get up. We were in Broadbeach, Diamond Lodge, actually. It wasn't diamond-like, it was a run-down lodge. However, it had its the basics, and we were happy with the room. It seems to be, you never know what you're going to get on the Gold Coast, but we were lucky to have our room. And we got up, we went and watched the WA, like Marlene. It was great to see my fellow team Tina, Marlene, and Sue's out there, and Charlotte. It was great to see. I actually saw the girls coming in. We were a really good spot on the corner, and that was really, really nice to see how well they did. So that motivated me a lot, and that was about it till the race.
Yeah, nice. So, I mean, you've been to Goldie before. Obviously, this time having Scott in tow was slightly different. Was there anything else about the weekend that was, maybe different to last time, or that you got an opportunity to do that you didn't last time?
Not really. It was very similar. We stayed at Broadbeach, which we quite liked because even though it was further from the race start, we got on the tram. Oh, it's not a tram. Sorry, it's a train, and we had room to. Well, we had room to move to the next station. However, we were the first on the train, and those kinds of little things Scott and I thought worked last time, so they worked well again. And I think we did everything right. I mean, we just before the race itself, like the Saturday, it's really much just try and put your feet up as much as you can. And at one point, I think Scott was like, "Well, it's a wasted day, isn't it?" I said, "Well, it's not a wasted day. We're resting for the marathon and eating as much as we can." So it was like an eating competition between the two of us the day before to see how much rice we could consume. So.
Who won?
I was doing pretty well, but it was fairly even.
Okay.
And were the killer pythons out in numbers?
Yeah, they were. We had a bag each because he was stealing mine, and became a little bit frustrating. But no, it was all in all. I think we did everything we could have for this race, and it worked well. Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic. Awesome to hear. Well, yeah, we'll get stuck into the recap of the race a little bit later.
Okay.
Monday's listen, I think you shared with the listeners that, the family was pretty sick leading up. So that had a bit going on in your apartment that you were staying at. Obviously a few other things going on in the background in the kind of wider family. How I guess, knowing what you know now, would you travel with the family again for a goal marathon? And how much money did you drop at the expo?
I knowing that Linda's going to listen to this at some point, I will be very diplomatic and say, well, if Linda wants to come, she can come, but no pressure, Linda, for next time. We did. So we stayed at Breakers North, and it was like a 2x2 apartment. So that actually worked out really well. So when Linda, became quite crook on the way to Goldie, we were kind of, I guess, social distancing as much as we could. But yeah, it was probably a missed opportunity because it was meant to be like a bit of a family trip and all in all, a bit of a relaxing time before the race. But it was pretty, I guess, stressful in the sense that Linda was just bedridden the entire time. So I was kind of single parenting with my daughter, trying to keep her preoccupied for the rest of the week. And although we went to Bluey World on the Thursday, that probably just made, Linda more sick as a result. So look, it was a bit stressful. We did stay in between Broadbeach and Surfers. I probably made the mistake of agreeing to meet up with Adam, Mark, and Shaf at Surfers because, the commute to the start line was pretty hectic and rough. And if I had just taken sort of the tram where I was, I would have been one of the first people on the tram. So I think, probably a couple of things I'd do differently. I've already implemented some of those for Melbourne, so there's no Linda or the daughter. I am 1.7 k's away from the start line, so I can jog it to the start line. So things will be in my control. It's always a shame, but that's life. And
Definitely.
so be it. And it was always going to be a family trip because it was school holidays and look, the weather was great. It was just a shame that the family got sick.
Yeah, no, it's just one of those things you absolutely cannot anticipate or control. It's hard to really say what you would do differently. But it was your first time doing a marathon outside of WA, I think.
Yep.
How was the experience overall from both a spectator, in the days leading up, but then also as a competitor on the Sunday?
You take away, I guess, the disappointment of the race. And now that it's been 10 days since, I think, it was a great time. It was an experience that I've never experienced before, compared to a local marathon.
Mm.
I think probably the the busiest marathon I've ever raced was Bunbury, which is nothing compared to Goldie. No
Mm.
disrespect to Bunbury, but yeah, just the crowds and the excitement, and the buzz in the week leading up and throughout the race. It's crazy to think that sort of that is the experience of a interstate. I guess one of the biggest marathons in Australia. So
Mm.
I can understand why people are drawn to that experience. I can understand why people go to the Gold Coast.
Mm.
Just the vibe and the environment and the crowds, people cheering your name. Um, there's never really a quiet spot out in the course where you feel like you're alone.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's amazing. And you take away the bad experience, I'd do it again.
Yeah.
Like no questions asked.
No, good to hear. Good to hear. Now, speaking of social distancing, Carlos, it looks like you were in Kojonup all week, avoiding people at all costs. I think you arrived on the Saturday with Migs, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, how did you keep your feet up in the days leading up to the race? And how was the aura going pre and post race?
Yeah. The reason why I was in Kojanab is I was aura farming, getting out of aura as much as possible,
Mm.
and basically also, yeah, just trying to avoid people to not get sick. There's no people in there. I'm gonna tell you right now. Even in Kataning, I went to Kataning. There's a flat because it's in Kojanab. It's so hilly, and
Mm.
the only the closest flat area is in Kataning, and there's a 4K loop there, which is flat as a pancake.
Mm.
So yeah, just that's where I did my last session before the race. But yeah, I was pretty lucky because has a new car, so he drove from Tari all the way to Gold Coast. So it's a 6 hour drive. So on the race day, we put all our stuff in the car, and for Airbnb we stayed on a Friday. Um, in the Vietnamese neighborhood. So we share a house with them. So, but yeah,
Awesome.
we're all Asians, and we understand that the slippers and the shoes has to go outside. So that's the first thing.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, it's really good because they're really quiet and they understand that we are going to race in 2 days time. So yeah, we didn't have any distractions, and it's 2 rooms. So one for me and Migs, and yeah, I think having a car. It's just the first time of going to international. Let's say like Gold Coast is an international event because
Mm.
there's a lot of foreigners coming in from all over the world. To have a car going around because yeah, we went to places at the expo. I go to the shops to get some electrolytes, all of our nutrition needs with a car, so it's so easy. And I think if I'm gonna do Gold Coast again, it would be the same thing. um, but yeah, accommodation wise, it's perfect. We got an aircon, we got a good toilet. Everything is all clean, and there's no rats at all. It's clean, really, really clean house that we
Yeah.
have. And
No.
yeah,
Awesome. No, that's great, mate. Yeah, I guess like it's yeah, having that car. I think a couple of friends of ours also had a car, and it seemed like a game changer for them just being able to park 600 meters away or so from the finish line and just get themselves in. I guess it's not an opportunity that everyone has, but if you are staying a little bit out of town or potentially moving yourself around all weekend, it's like a game changer for sure. Good stuff, mate. Rosie, how about you? So I think I saw you after the race. You were kind of feet up at a picnic table with a few friends and family, or I'm not sure who they were, but yeah, I did mention to me at the time that your accommodation was a bit rough around the edges, and yeah, maybe not quite what you had expected. Maybe you want to take us through that experience.
And I just want to put it on record, I'm not like expecting the Ritz or anything. So I flew
Mm.
over Friday afternoon, maybe the same flight that you guys flew over on the Thursday. So I didn't, and then hired a car from Brisbane, and then bombed it down to Gold Coast. It was actually a really smooth journey. Was able to groceries on the way, and probably checked into the accommodation. I'm not even going to call it a hotel. About 10:30, and it was all keyless. There was no contact. I was like, that's fine. It's late. Got in there, and the windows and the doors to the balcony were wide open. I thought, well, this is a bit weird. Kind of looked around, and there was just dust everywhere. There's someone that obviously had an altercation and put a fist through the bathroom window, bathroom door, which was not repaired. It was just filthy.
What?
There was one fork, just one. So, and then there were some other bits. I was like, I'm going to wash everything
God.
before I use it. Cables are hanging out of the oven. But probably the jewel in the experience. Not only was the walls also absolute paper thin, which on the Saturday night and Friday night with everyone partying, and the construction next door, which didn't really allow for any sort of noise-free sleeping beyond 8 o'clock, was the couch. I reckon probably had a similar smell to the porta toilets on the Sunday
Oh
morning
Oh,
at the
my
start.
god.
It was minging. I put
wow.
a chair up against the door, thinking I just don't feel safe here. My husband was like, just change hotels, just find somewhere else. And I looked, and it was like 5 or 6 grand to change. And I was like, this is ridiculous. Come on, just suck it up. You'll be fine. So yeah, Saturday morning, thankfully, after I did the Lululemon shakeout run and caught up with Raf there and another girl that I ran with, Renee. So soaked all that up and got lots of free stash and branded up some Lululemon clothes, which was really, really, really cool. And then I headed down to the expo. Was very close to just getting sucked in and buying every supplement under the sun, because that's going to be the secret to health and happiness and wellness, right? But thankfully, reality quickly dawned on me and realised that as a marketer, they're just selling me what I want to hear. And then was able to go get earplugs and a face mask to dull out some of the senses.
Yeah.
So yeah, not the most ideal accommodation to kind of bring in the positive vibes, but live and learn. And I did read the reviews ahead of the weekend, and they were all pretty negative. But I was like, oh, they're just the negative ones. I'm sure they're just the extremes, but they were bang on, absolutely bang on. So if you're ever going to stay in Chevron Islands, just look at all the reviews before you book it, because yeah, this place was grim, absolutely grim.
Well,
I
you
can
can't
laugh
win them
about it
all, I
now.
suppose. But
No, literally,
yeah, exactly. You survived.
I did. I'm here
There
to tell
wasn't
the
like a
tale.
Norman
Yeah.
Bates type character next door or anything. So that's,
Oh,
I guess, a
God.
good outcome.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So it was good. I was glad that somebody went to one of those shakeouts, because there was I didn't get the opportunity, but I would have loved to have gone to that Lululemon one.
Oh,
Yeah,
they
what
were
was
so
it like
good.
in terms of numbers and stuff? Yeah.
Oh, there were loads. So it was Lululemon, and I think it was Run. There was podcasters, which I'm not familiar with. Cheeky Run Club is what they're called. So the one that we did on Saturday, I reckon there would have been at least 1,000 people, and we was just like a 3K shakeout, which was great. And then you went up to this rooftop terrace, and there was like coffee machines, compression things, lots of protein powders, and Lululemon had their own little pop up shop there, of course, and you could kind of create your own custom Lululemon clothes, which was super super cool. So yeah, that was kind of that's where the credit card got the workout for the weekend. That's for sure.
I mean, it's hard to pass up an opportunity like that, though. It sounds
Well,
like
it's
a pretty
once in a
cool
lifetime,
experience.
right? Money can't buy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
100%. At
yeah,
least that's what we tell
yeah.
ourselves anyway.
Exactly. That's what I'm still telling myself.
Yeah. Very good. Well, no, look, that sounds like an awesome little recap of the weekend, guys. But let's get into the moment everyone's been waiting for, the big dance. Race morning, the conditions were probably less than ideal. We're talking like 16 degrees and roughly 90% humidity. According to the Dean Menzies temperature and dew point calculation method, registered trademark, the conditions suggested like a pace adjustment of 1 to 2% for a goal pace. Looking back over that today, it seems like that's where the numbers would lie. We were, however, pretty fortunate to be blessed with cloud coverage and a northeasterly, which meant no running into the wind in the final 5Ks, which have been a kind of obstacle in the past. So it'd be great to hear from all of you, I guess, on a few things. Like, did you adjust your race plan for the conditions? What was your sleep like? Could you chew your breakfast on race morning? How were you feeling on the start line? Were your guts doing somersaults like mine? Did Rob De Castella make your ears bleed? And I guess, what was the mindset during the race? What was your favourite part of the event? And what did you learn from the race? Rosie, seems we were just having a chat, we'll get stuck in with you. I think you toughed it out. You said you toughed it out from about 25, 30 Ks. How was your experience for the race?
Yeah, so I agree. A girl, Renee Ratcliffe, who did an awesome race. We were going to start together, so kind of squeezed our way onto the tram. I think my 10 years in London um, provided me with good training to be able to squeeze into the tiniest of crevices. So that was fortunate that we got on the first train or tram that arrived up. So that was a good success. And then we probably got up to the start line 5:40, so quite late. And I was going to go to the toilet, and then it was more just a nervous need to go to the toilet, so I didn't bother. We just got straight into the start area. Eventually found our 4:30 pace pacer, who actually, small world, I used to work with him. He used to live in WA, and we had a nice little chat in the early case. That was a nice little familiarity. And there was a couple of other front runner people also in the same wave. So yeah, I didn't really appreciate how passionate Rob De Castella was. It was maybe I couldn't see the visual, and that's what probably lost me a bit. But I didn't. It was a bit preachy for me back far where we were. But I was just sort of mindset by then. I was like, let's just get going. Like, I was excited, I was nervous, but I just wanted to run. I wasn't feeling sick. Bagels went down the treat that morning. Sleep the night prior wasn't amazing, but it wasn't awful considering the ghetto that I was living in. And then found the pacer. They of course went out like a bull at a gate. So there was quite a lot of weaving to start with. I don't know about you guys, but it was bloody congested for the first 3 or so K. So we did have to we were ducking and diving and as safely as we could to just stick with the pacer. But then by the time we kind of got to a bit before SeaWorld, everyone seemed to kind of even out a bit. I don't know about you guys, but the aid stations felt like a little chaotic. They came up very quickly, which was awesome, but you didn't really quite know where they were, what side of the road they were. They weren't manned, which I don't know. I've done London Marathon a few times and New York Marathon, and even those were better organised. So I felt like that was something that WA races do well. Our aid stations are far more organised and less congested and safer as well. But yeah, just stuck in behind the at that 4:30 pace and was feeling good. Saw you, Chris, and you were full of energy. Saw you, Simon, and you gave me nothing, which I won't take personally. Lauren and Carlos, I feel like you were just too fast, or you blended in.
I think I was suffering. I was suffering, Rosie.
I saw a
I was
few
suffering,
others. That was
Rosie.
nice. You looked like you were close too, so I didn't want to kill the mojo. So that was nice. Yeah, agreed that having the bibs on was awesome. And loved, yeah, having names on the bibs. That was good, given I was there solo. It felt really good, and I think the wheels started to turn to kind of come off a bit. About K25, my left leg was just in a world of pain I hadn't had before, but I was like, tough it out. Said a few things to myself and thought, we can get through it, and it kind of went on and off for a while. And then I guess my concentration was probably starting to wane when we got back to the start line. Then you've got to do a kind of 10 or so Ks to go. Maybe triggered by just watching someone do the biggest projectile vomit of whatever it was, and then saw my girlfriend who'd come down from Brisbane. And then, I don't know, I just, for whatever reason, maybe I got distracted, the paces went, and I just could feel I had very little left. I saw Raf, he gave me some nice G-ups, and that was nice, but just that last 10Ks. It was a slog. And again, I don't know if it was because I was in a bit more of the average pacing, but I'm going to say the last 3Ks, it felt like a scene of some World War movie. There was literally bodies on the side of the road the whole way. People had drips coming out of them. People had cords on. And at that stage, I was also a bit like, I'm here by myself. I don't want to end up in an ambulance. I mean, I wasn't in that pain. I wasn't in that physicality. I'd kind of almost been a bit defeated by then. So I was just like, this is ridiculous. I'm just going to stick to this slow pace at this stage. No, I'm not going to get a PB. But I'm going to finish in one piece and finish safely. So yeah, I kind of had a bit, I really went in with the mindset and the training that I was on for a PB. I didn't adjust my pace given the humidity. Maybe that was a mistake. Maybe the fact that I hadn't got a good night's sleep in the lead up was a mistake. Maybe the fact that I needed babe and husband there too, or the yellow pram. But so I was a bit disappointed crossing the finish line, thinking, oh, what's happened? I haven't got that vibe of that I often have crossing the finish line. I've given it everything, and I'm super proud. But I think time was a good healer, and it made me realize that okay, my second fastest marathon, I gave it everything I had. And you live and learn. And I know it sounds cliche, and I still probably don't feel 100% content, which probably makes me hungrier to get the legs sorted and to get back out there. But that was me, 3:17 final time. So, a bit off what I wanted, but finished, got the medal, and had some good experiences along the way, and really enjoyed 3/4 of the race.
Yeah. I think it's a pretty common experience. How did that experience, I guess that race experience, differ to, was it Perth Running Festival that you did where you ran 3:14? Did you have a more consistent race on that occasion, or did you have a similar struggle in the last 10Ks?
No, I had a very different, consistent race the whole time. Not saying no struggle, but very little struggle towards the end. So, yeah.
I mean, some of that could absolutely be attributed to those conditions. Like I said at the start, like roughly 1% to 2% adjustment, and I'm sure that if you factor that out for a 3:14 to a 3:17, it'd probably be about the right number. So it is. It's probably not that far from the mark, to be honest. But
that's good to know.
It's good to hear you got something out of it. You did enjoy it for 3/4 of it. What did Raf say to you at when you saw him? Out of curiosity.
Good question. On the way up, it was very. I'm still, the wheels hadn't completely fallen off there. It was positive. But on the way back, it was like, come on, you've only got 10 minutes left. And I was like, I knew I was at least 3Ks away. I was like, it's more than 3Ks. I'm done. But it was all very encouraging and very positive. Bless him, standing in the middle of that medium strip for the day. That wouldn't have been that much fun for him. But so it was good to have him there. I didn't expect him to be there.
Yeah, cool. And you said you had a friend come down from Brizzy. Were they there to watch you, or did they have other people running there as well?
No. She, we know each other from London days and haven't seen each other since our wedding 3 years ago. So she came down with her little one to watch, and ironically, seen me watch London Marathon and things as well. So she knows what she's watching. It was great to see her and her support there for the day.
Fantastic. And how did you party afterwards?
So we civilised to start with. We went for a yummy brunch and had a decent cup of coffee at this place called Bam Bam Bakehouse, I think it is, in the Gold Coast. And then got back on the Lululemon gravy train and joined a little, like the last 10 minutes of the Inside Running podcast, and then went back up to the rooftop of the hotel and had bottomless glasses of champagne till about 7:00. So, it was good. And there was a couple of other front runner people there as well. So it was nice.
Yeah, wicked. That sounds awesome. And did you then fly home that night, or did you come home Monday?
No, came home Monday, like lunchtime. So, just had a slow morning on the Monday and, drove back up to Brisbane to fly home.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good stuff, Rosie. Well, it's a great recap. Thanks for sharing. Was there something that out of this race that you learned, like a lesson that you learned that you would say, like in your reflection in the last kind of 10 days?
I'd say probably the niggle that I'd had when we chatted back in late early June. I probably discounted that I could just train through it, and probably really should have reevaluated the pain that I was still feeling while I was training. Not to say that was going to be the biggest catalyst, but that probably was the straw that broke the camel's back. But I think I executed more my nutrition. Stomach felt fine. I didn't feel impacted by the humidity, even though it felt warm. The singlets that you guys organised for us were like next level awesome. I looked at it when it arrived in Perth, and it was so thin, and I was like, "This is going to be like nothing." It seems so thin and flimsy, but it was perfect. It was so breathable, so that was great. So I don't feel like the humidity was the issue, but yeah, there are positives to take out of it, and I've got to remember that.
For sure. No, massive shout out to Vlad for organising those singlets for us because, they were almost the perfect material for the race. To be honest, I was concerned that mine would be a little short and I might have a midriff showing, but
they were a little short in the body, weren't they?
Yeah, but perfect fit otherwise, and like I'll be wearing it, rocking it around races around Perth for sure at some point. You'll see me rolling with that. But no, thanks, Rosie. Si, again, like we talked about it Monday, not the time you wanted, but you've obviously learned a lot from the experience. Do you want to? I know we talked about it a bit Monday, but perhaps you could maybe take us through, for those who haven't heard, like your race experience on the Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, where was Dean's analysis before the race?
True.
Yes.
Like we're in the same bloody run chat, and you didn't mention anything about a 1% and 2% adjustment.
I literally just looked at that today because I remember after the race, Dean messaged me and said, a few things, and he said, look, it was a score of 30 on his scale, so which indicates that difficult conditions. And I looked at it today, and I was like, I actually figured it out that it was basically a 2% adjustment. So it wasn't something that I had personally figured out and withheld from you before the race, but I had kind of my own intuition that suggested to me that maybe it might be some adjustment there, but
Yeah, look, I think I really didn't think about the humidity, which could be it is my fault to a certain extent, but I think race morning, look, the commute to the start line was rough, and despite leaving my apartment at 4:40, I thought that would have been plenty of time to get to the start line in time. Meeting up with the guys, being squished in the tram. I don't think I've ever been so close to Adam. Like I was like wedged in his armpit. And I think I've felt all of Shaf, like just everything. So look,
every contour,
yeah, like everything. So yeah, look, that was rough. And I was quite stressed and feeling quite flat as I was heading to the start line. And we were even having conversations about, we're not going to make it in time. And thankfully, Mark, Adam, Shaf, and I would have probably created our own pace group should we have arrived late. But yeah, we literally got there 5:55. I think I only just saw you and Matt before we entered the corral, so we never really had a chance to, I guess, compose ourselves before entering the corral. So, and Deke's sermon was just so weird. Like that didn't motivate me at all. But look, yeah, I think I was just keen to get the race started, and when it did, I was sort of locked in, and like I knew the first couple of Ks, it was just going to be a case of us settling into a pace, and I was feeling, rough around the edges. So I figured that, look, after 3-4 Ks, I'll calm down, the anxiety would subside, and we'll start chilling. And I think that was the problem. Like I never did, right? Like it was still stressful, even when we sort of settled into a pace. It kind of felt reasonably hard, and maybe it was just my mind playing games, going, oh, this will pass, and I just need to just hold on, and hopefully the feelings of anxiety and flatness will go away. And I think by the time I saw Linda at the 12K mark, it almost felt like the race was done. Like I was working so hard. I was so focused at keeping at that pace that I was so fixated at look at my watch every 30 seconds. And I remember, I think we were probably heading towards Broadbeach, or maybe sometime after Broadbeach, where there was that reggae singer singing, and he was singing something along the lines of everything's going to be okay. And I was thinking, fuck this guy. I am not feeling okay whatsoever. And that probably would have been the time where I turned around, and I did hear you, Rosie. But I was in a dark place already. So look, by the time I got to the halfway mark and I had seen Linda for the second time, like I was doing anything possible to, I guess, get rid of this feelings of, everything felt heavy and I felt so tired. And I was looking at my paces. Surprisingly, I thought I had slowed down because Shaf had sort of took off. But I didn't really slow down too much. I think I was hitting sort of 410s, 411s at that point. So it wasn't the 416s or 417s that I thought I was doing. But by the time I had hit 25Ks, like I was ready to call the quits. I had walked off the course. It felt like minutes, but it was only half a minute. And I kind of convinced myself to get back on course and kind of made deals with myself to just keep going. And it was just hard. Like I was barely there, to be honest. So when I did see Raf, like I didn't know if I saw Raf at the 33K mark or if I had seen him in the 41K mark. But I do remember him yelling at me to chase the 3 hour pack, because by then the 3 hour pack had caught up. And but I was so lightheaded, I barely knew what was going on. So look, I guess from a race experience point of view, from start to finish, it was pretty rough. And I think the biggest lesson I've learnt is, I suppose, not to be too fixated on the pace and just go by effort. And don't know if it was a problem for me in sort of the training block, because I never really did marathon pace work. We were always training at faster than marathon efforts. But I think that will be the lesson that I take into Melbourne, where I think I just need to go by effort and don't be so fixated at, oh shit, it's a slow K, I need to pick things up. I think I should just settle in a pace that feels what I think feels like marathon effort, and go from there. I think that's the biggest lesson I take away from this.
Yeah, for sure. I guess, I mean, everybody does it differently, and I guess a way to try and take your mind off the pace you're running is to be checking your watch less often, or change your laps, or manually lap your watch every 5Ks or something like that, so that you're not dictated. Your race isn't dictated by your watch. It's hard not to do, for sure. I'm a massive victim of that. Like I'm constantly looking at my watch, but I appreciate like the point where you hit 25Ks. I think from my memory, that's probably one of the least populated parts of the course too. Like you're kind of going on the tram line, and there's only people on one side, and they're pretty thin, few and far between at that point. So it probably got you at your lowest point, was when that your lowest point just happened to be the quietest part of the course.
Yeah.
And you think potentially if it was 2Ks earlier or 2Ks later, maybe you would have kept going and you might have, found something. But from the sounds of it, you certainly were struggling from the very beginning. And, maybe like, I don't know if you looked or kind of really even cared at what point what your heart rate was on the start line with all that anxiety. You wonder if potentially all that stress of getting on the tram and touching, touching Shaf's contours, maybe, and smelling Adam's armpit for 30 minutes. Like maybe there's, there's a bit to that that would have impacted your race for sure.
Possibly, yeah. And I have reflected on the fact of, this is probably a big jump in terms of a marathon experience, right? Like we've always done local races where it is pretty quiet, and I've always been relaxed in a marathon. Like other than my first marathon or maybe my second marathon, I've actually been pretty chilled. Sort of race morning and and even the first couple of Ks, and all my experience to date have always been pretty comfortable for the first half, and I've always enjoyed the first half. And maybe I just didn't prepare for a anxious, stressful start to a race, and I think it just kind of screwed me over to a certain extent. But you know what? Will I change anything? Maybe I could have gone by myself, but I think I'd still be anxious and stressed coming into a very busy, big marathon. So, look, it's good to still experience. I was very disappointed. I was devastated. When I crossed the finish line, and there was I think I had 3 public cries on the way back to the apartment. But look, it's a learning opportunity, I think, and it's good to sort of get this experience off the back, and you kind of move on from it, really.
Yeah. I saw a really touching photo of you and Miata holding hands on the way back. I assume that was probably one of the moments where you were having those public cries.
Yep.
Did Miata have any words of wisdom to pass on to you?
Yeah, I mean, she was rolling her eyes, and I think because they were struggling to get to the finish line. So I had found out that they were going to. I only found it after the fact because it was never part of the plan. But they were stuck at Southport Station, so they were on the other side of the course. So they didn't know how to cross the course to get to where the finishing area was. So it actually did take quite a bit of time to get there. And I think as I was walking back, it kind of sort of dawned on me, how disappointed I was, and I was kind of bawling my eyes out as I was approaching them. But I think when I saw them, I was devastated, and I think I was just thinking about the sacrifice and thinking about how perhaps I may have let them down, and the times that I sacrificed spending time with them, going on the long runs or the Saturday sessions, which take up, hours of the morning. But they were very supportive, and so Miata had recited a Bloy quote about moving on, and don't give up. It's you dust yourself back up and carry on. So that made me feel a bit better. And then Sunday night, I was messaging Tina about either doing a Japanese marathon or signing up to Melbourne. So by 10 p.m. Sunday night, I had convinced myself that I was going to do Melbourne Marathon. So I think once that happened, I was able to get over the disappointment.
Yeah, for sure. And how much convincing did it take, Linda to sign off on that?
Very little, actually. So I must have really leaned in on the disappointment.
Really turned the waterworks on. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, she was look, I told her, look, Perth Running Festival, it's pretty warm. It can get humid. I don't think I'll be able to get a PB in Perth, and she signed off on the solo mission, so we're good to go.
Awesome. Good stuff, mate. No, appreciate your openness there. Loz, I think our discussion at the finish line, we were, as I think I said on the Monday pod, you and I were both crying at the finish line. You mentioned that you were going to retire, and you just had enough of the marathon. You never want to do it again. But you also mentioned that maybe you had gone out a little hot in this race. maybe tell us how everything transpired and what you were thinking in those early Ks, and then how you kind of held on toward the back end.
Yeah, I wasn't crying a lot. No, at the finish line, a few tears. No, we'll get to that. No, I had really smooth sailing actually. Sorry, Simon. I had a nice start. We got on the tram together. A little bit nervous with Scott. He can leave things a bit to the last minute, so I had him up ready to go. I couldn't eat anything though, so I knew I was pretty nervous. So I did my normal, try to get this coffee can down and some killer pythons. So I stressed a little bit about that. However, we were on the tram and we were off. So I got to go into the aquatic centre. I kissed Scott goodbye and said, "Off you go. Go find where you're standing. I'm in here." And I waltzed on in with my number, and I felt confident. I knew what I was doing. I had done that 2 years ago in 2023 at Gold Coast. So I felt like I should just be, I felt like I deserved to be there. And so I got in there and it was nice, to be honest. I kind of took my time, probably too long, toilet, and everyone was jogging around a pool. So I started jogging around the pool with the Ethiopians and the Japanese and the top Australians. And then we got taken up to the start line. And that's when I started feeling quite nervous. And I was like 2 rows back from the start thinking,
Wow.
Why am I standing next to these 3 Africans who will win? I'm standing here. And they were laughing at Deek's. They couldn't understand it. It was very entertaining because they thought it was hilarious. And I kind of had a chuckle and felt as calm as I could. And then as we took off, I thought, wow, I'm going too fast. I've done this before, And I just thought, well, roll with it, Lauren. You're feeling okay. Go for it, I thought. And yeah, I'm a little bit, even though it was 5 seconds quicker than I should have, it caught up to me. And yeah, it's my own doing. I had the 1-2% thing you're talking about. I didn't take any of that into account. I was going to get a PB, and I suppose, yeah, that's what I wanted to do. So I didn't do it. I was disappointed. And yeah, I said I'll retire, but no, there's more to come, I think. So I felt okay. However, I knew that there's people coming up behind me because I'm so far front. I'm so up, the start of the line there. I really should have probably, looking back now, I should have, just maybe a couple of seconds slower would have been a smart decision, which I'm kicking myself a bit, but that's what I did. And I probably thought at around 18K, maybe even 15, things were, as Simon says, we've done these sessions. I just thought I was breathing harder and working harder than I wanted to be. And I've done marathons before, and I had this gut feeling that my brain started telling me you're stuffing this up. And I really had to, I've never really pushed as much out of my brain. I saw some, people were cheering my name and I tried to take it in, but nothing really was helping the legs. I feel a bit better. My nutrition was spot on. Like, I was really happy with that. So every marathon you have to take, you learn. So I'm just going to try and stack this one on top of the other. And, it was what it was. I got this weird cramp. I mean, there's no excuses, but things were just starting to, yeah. I think my body started looking for anything, to be honest, in my foot. And the road just felt, I don't know, weirdly hard. It was just this, I've never felt the concrete feel like that. And I think that's me telling myself it was getting harder and maybe I need to be mentally tougher and push it out. And I tried all sorts of techniques like breaking it down, 5 minutes or 2Ks. And as Simon said, you think about, the you know, my mum and dad had the boys, and I'm like, there's no way I'm stepping off because I'm not going home. They're not going to care what time I did. They just want to know I finished the thing. So I was very much pushed by that. And yeah, it would have been better if my time, obviously, towards the end there, I was dropping pace. I haven't really gone through the splits too much because it just makes me feel a bit sad. So I pushed that to the back of my mind. But yeah, I started to. I knew I was slowing, and it was slower than I wanted, obviously. And towards the end there, I just hung on to anything, and yeah, crossing the line, my feelings were, my gut feeling was like, oh, I've stuffed up. Like I did stuff up, and I thought, oh, I was upset, and but then, as Rosie said, I like that line about, oh, I can't remember what you said, but, time over time, or, you think about it more, and you remind yourself that, 250 for me is actually, I should be proud of that. And I am. I hung in there to not make it an absolute disaster. I wanted to walk so many times and I didn't. So you have to take those things that you push through, I think, in each marathon. And yeah, pretty much, just I had, the finish line was like, I was relieved I was there because I wanted it to be over. And that's why, I may have said, oh, I don't want to do one of these again. And, but, the fun celebrating other people's achievements. I mean, I must say, Scott had a great run. He was consistent. I was surprised. I thought he'd fall into a heap at 34 Ks, but he deserved to feel, he was very happy with his race. He doesn't often show his feelings, I don't think. When I saw him after the race, I went back to the aquatic centre and we had a plan to meet at 10:15, and he was sitting there on the grass, proud as punch, and he should have been because he did well. So I didn't really want to. Of course, I told him, and he probably said he knew I wasn't happy with my overall what I got. However, we were there together, and it was good to see him have a good race. So celebrate afterwards, which was fun with our friends.
Yeah, you got to take the wins where you get them, I suppose. Sometimes after the race, did you have a did you discuss anything with Tina after the race? Like did Tina have any kind of input into your kind of race, or did you discuss with her how you might have done things differently next time?
Yeah, we caught up for a jog, which was nice last week. And, she said when you get to this part, Loz, of, when you want to try and get a 30 seconds, 1 minute, you do need to try and, push it a bit and obviously take risks, I suppose is what you'd say. Mm-hmm. And she also said that the conditions make a huge, the conditions of a marathon, like the conditions of weather, will really impact your race. And I feel like I'm getting older now. I don't know if it was the humidity, but something, I don't think I do race in, obviously we all don't really race well in warm. Some people do. So I think coming from a winter Perth, training in the morning, in the dark and cold, going to this, 16 degrees, it's not hot. However, I still felt for me, I need to go from maybe a summer to I'd love to do a Japan race again, summer training into the winter. So we talked a bit about that. And we also talked about, I'm going to change a few things up actually. I'm going to try some slower running on Monday and Friday. And no more 4:30s for me. I'm saying it here. And my Strava may not look nice anymore, but it's not about the Strava. I've decided to try and, really go really hard on try and make my sessions harder or whatever I can do. Mm-hmm. And especially with Sydney, I've only got a quick turnover, so I'm probably not going to concentrate as much on mileage and try and focus on the strength. I'm going to be, Green Mile, hopefully, Kings Park. And I'm a very set. I don't like change much, so I think this will be something that I just need to try, and that's about it.
Great. Again, great recap. I think Yeah, I think your run in particular kind of stands out to me as one that's really brave. Like you kind of yeah, you did go out, maybe a little quick, but the fact that you kind of just went for it anyway, and just sometimes that there might be a day where you do that and it sticks, right, and you run like a 2 minute PB because it just happens, like it.
Maybe.
Yeah, so
Hope so, maybe. I
yeah.
don't know. I'll keep trying for a few more years and maybe I'll nail one, maybe I'll have a few more. But if I can keep giving it a go for well, I hope I can do it for another 10 years of, 8 years trying to get close to the 240.
Mm,
I don't think but yeah, I'd be happy with a 242
mm.
and I really want to just pick the race that maybe works and as you said, you just got to try and if it doesn't work out then I don't know, try again, hey?
Exactly. There's always another race around the corner.
That's right.
All right, Carlos. Well, mate, from what I understand, you and Vlad went out with the elite females last Sunday. However, they slowed a little early, maybe be off of pace that you guys were striking. So you had to readjust. Yeah, take us through your race, mate. I did see a few photos on Instagram today, and I mean, you look pretty bloody good at the finish line. So I'd love to hear how you felt at the start.
Yeah, so I think the one that contributed for feeling good in the race day is having a 7 hours sleep. Um,
Oh,
yeah, that's crazy because like
beautiful.
I had a less sleep 2 days before when I arrived in the airport around 11 p.m. On a Friday. So that's 9 p.m. In Perth time. So
Mm.
it's still pretty normal to me. But I think uh, we didn't sleep up until like 2 a.m. something like that. So we just me and Migs just yapped up until yeah up until that time. So just trying to plan out what we're gonna do on a Saturday to expo. When I going to do the drinks because we have to check in the drinks for the elite start. Um, but yeah, I just really had a good sleep on race day, and also just minimize walking around because last year I remember I did a bit of a walk around, more walking the day before, and I think the nutrition was really crucial as well. Feeling good, so I used I feeded off all of my nutrition um, stuff to Chat GPT, my weight, my time that I can think that I think that I will do, and yeah, just entered all of that, and then ChatGPT just made all the nutrition plan for me,
Wow.
which is good. So calculation of sodium, carbs, and it even knows Bix, which is crazy. So yeah, just took a photo of like all the ingredients and everything, and then also I took into consideration all the things that I take the bicarb. So I did run a marathon with the bicarb. I think I took 15 capsules before the race, 3 hours before. Beetroot juice. I've been having beetroot juice in the last 5 days leading up. Um, and also, I take this. I think that's pretty much it. The protein, the rich protein as well in the morning. Yeah, um, the oats. That's it. And yeah, everything just I just did during training every day. Just repeated it on the day. So nothing really changed, which is
Mm.
good. So I think my mind is locked in to just execute properly because I believe I can run 226, 227. So also that's considering the humidity
Mhm.
because me and Vlad, we do think we can run 225, 224 on a good day, like 224 high. But yeah, we already knew that's out of the gate. Once we knew that the humidity levels around like 80 to 90%.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, in the morning, yeah, we took our car, parked in the nearest car park, 400 meters from the start line. We did the best warm up, um, the strides, the mobility, all the things that we do in training. Just repeated that. Everything just clicks because you know, like you know what you're gonna do. and the race, I knew it's gonna be the easiest part because we did the work. Because the training was really really hard. Like the ones I think the ones that really stuck to me is the long runs, which is you go anaerobic all the time, doing attacking all those hills.
Mm.
And we're pretty used to having our legs banged up week in week out, because we will do our Tuesday sessions on a pretty cooked legs, which is, makes us more resilient. When things gets heavier, we can still run a pace that we're trying to do. um, so yeah, the Rob de Castella speech. I think I have a different feel for it. I think it made me feel ready. I don't know why. It's just like the voice, the audacity of like doing that grunty voice. I think it's good for me. But yeah, I think it went a bit longer though, which
Yeah,
is,
it was a
I
bit.
wanna.
It was a bit
I
long.
was looking at the
Too
clock.
long.
Oh, it's like 1 minute. We should be starting now. Let's go. So yeah, I was really excited. I was with Vlad. Vlad beside me. We know the plan. We're gonna go side by side. But most of it, the whole race, he was the one leading. Maybe 70% of it.
Mhm.
But yeah, mostly, yeah, I will try to go. We'll do side by side. Um, yeah, the original plan. Yeah, go with the women's elite team. But the thing is, they try to make it more tactical between each other. And
Mhm.
then I think the one that was the eventual winner, she has the best kick. So I think it was her fault. Maybe she's trying to slow down the pace, and everything just followed her, and she just kick in the last 1500.
Mm.
But yeah, we just felt like around 10K it slowed down significantly. um Vlad just think, oh, let's just go in front. And I think when we decided that, it's around 10K on the drinks, where I almost missed my drink because I didn't see where it is, so I had to stop. So that's when
Wow.
Vlad was on the camera. So if you go to that part, the 10K mark, you will see me in the back just trying to chase the pack again, because I almost missed my drink, and I found it after 3 seconds.
Mm.
And yeah, it would have been epic if I didn't miss that drink. I will be with Vlad side by side, in front of the elite women. But
Yeah.
yeah, that was a missed opportunity, but that's okay. We'll do it next time. But yeah, as soon as the race goes on, yeah, we slowly start to get faster and faster. And I think we split a 114 flat, I'm pretty sure, or maybe 113 high,
Mm.
in halfway. And then yeah, we decided to pick it up a little bit, to get a chance to for 226, because we were running at low 227 by that point. So
Mm.
we have, so it's a pack of Vlad and Carlos on that part. There's I think a Malaysian team
Mhm.
that it was in the back of us. And I think there's a Japanese guy as well with us, drafting us. And yeah, and I think this is funny because Vlad dropped two drinks
Wow.
in the
That's
station.
crazy.
So I'm the one who picked him up. So I
Wow.
think I missed. He dropped three bottles. I picked two out of one.
Mm.
Um, yeah, it's just like because I was in the back at that time, and I picked it up for him. Because yeah, he's helping. He's doing almost all the work. So
Mm.
might as well just help him out with that.
Definitely.
And I think those drinks, picking them up and not cramping up, that was pretty much like a signal from me. I wouldn't cramp at all.
Mhm.
And I didn't like think of that into consideration, because in the last 4K I was afraid of putting the jets
Mm.
kicking in the last 4K like Vlad did.
Mhm.
Because yeah, I just still remember cramping up at the last 4K. And just my mental demons won on that day. Because yeah, I just pretty much just stayed on the same pace because I was afraid of cramping up.
Mm.
But yeah, on the last 1K, when I saw Raf, he said, "Oh, you got it, you got it. What time you think you're gonna do?" And then yeah, how fast you can go? Like, it's so motivational. And then
Mm.
yeah, at that point, I was like, "Oh yeah, let's do this." Last 1K, just sprint up, try and like put everything in. But to be honest, like I could have done it in 4Ks to go. I just
Mm.
like I don't know. It's the mental demons, man. It's real.
Yeah.
It's real. And then you learn at the end, like you have so much left in the tank.
Hmm.
And even Vlad, also I think that we could have just run a little bit quicker in the first half. We would have been he would have gone like 225
Mm.
high at least. But yeah, the nutrition, man, I think it's the one. It is the highlight of the race. Just getting all the drinks and having the right calculations, the sodium based on the humidity, and yeah, just really happy on that finish line. As you can see on the photos, just nailing the like the time that I was trying to do and getting it that way is, yeah, pretty comfortably have a lot left in the tank and have the energy to celebrate. That's I've never done it in a race like
Mm.
that I'm so confident on celebrating because I knew I've done it, and yeah, still soaking it in to this day.
Yeah. No,
So happy.
that's magic. I think you mentioned the nutrition there. So the Bix was like a massive, obviously, aid in your race and I guess all of ours. How did you? How did you? I think I heard Vlad was taking something like 120 grams per hour. So he was taking
Yeah,
3 gels an hour every 20, one every 20 minutes. Were you doing something similar or
yeah.
yeah, did you have a flask with you, or were you always just using those bottles to get your electrolytes and water?
I think we were almost consuming the same carbs per hour because I have two extra gels with me,
Hmm.
just in case. So yeah, I took the gels, the one gel before the start, and then I have one extra with me, um, that I'm carrying just in case I need an extra. Because I think me and Vlad had the same weight,
Hmm.
57, 58. But I think I was 59 on race days because of the carb loading.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was, yeah. That's why, like, my friend, Max Mahon, he said, like, also I think it was James Bond from the running center. He said, like, oh, you look so like huge in the photos, man. Oh, no, 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 it's all the carb load, bro. Like when you see me on a normal day, I'm so skinny. But yeah, it's all the rice and yeah, the Japanese rice. I think I had some a Timo Yochi. I don't know. I forgot the
Mm.
name, but it's a Timo Yochi. It's a Yochi, but it's not Yochi.
Yeah, right.
And Japanese food, which is eggs with miso with rice. That's our last day.
Mm.
Sorry, last meal before the race. It was really good. It's so full of carbs, protein,
Hmm.
everything you need. Um, but yeah, I think it all contributed to, yeah, a really good time and
No.
just he's sleeping really well there before. Hopefully I can do it again. That's really just
No.
need to repeat again.
Fantastic, mate. No, congratulations. I mean, it's an incredible performance. And from what you're saying that you felt quite good at the finish line, and you maybe could have emptied the tank a little more. But I think that there is some truth to that, because I mean, you basically got back to normal training the week after. You're basically doing a session on Tuesday or Thursday, and a long run through the hills on Sunday. So
Yeah.
yeah, man. Clearly more in the tank there, and very excited um, for what's next. But that brings me to the next segment. Yeah, I guess what is next, guys? I mean, like, yeah, we all run for our mental health, but undertaking a marathon block has a pretty big impact on our lives, both our families, our friends, and our work. I have like a whole bunch of friends that I probably haven't seen in 2 years because I've been running marathons so consistently. Um, yeah, and like sometimes we don't get the result that we want or that we deserve. But I guess showing up for the next thing and finding a new target, yeah, is what makes us a pretty resilient bunch as runners. Carlos, I mean, we just went through your race. I kind of have some idea about what you've got coming up next, but I'm not sure if all of it's for public knowledge. So I won't. I'll let you do the talking. Yeah, what's coming up for you for the rest of the year, mate?
Okay. So since May, me and Vlad have been planning to do this Kalgoorlie gig. I think it's gonna happen. Because we're both feeling good. Like we did the long run last week,
Mm.
500 meter vert, and then Yeah, I think we're ready because like I didn't actually register until I felt good last week.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure if I'm gonna still do another marathon. But yeah, my coach Rambo already knew if we pull up good from Gold Coast, we can do this side quest 2 months ago. So I think it's gonna happen. Me, Vlad is gonna do the 50. I'm gonna do the marathon. Yeah, that's what's next for me. It's pretty soon, but yeah, we will probably just like run. We're not gonna aim for a course record, but I think yeah, I've heard the podcast yesterday, and then Tom Tedge will go there. So I don't know. It's gonna be so competitive. I'm actually like really nervous. What he gonna do? He might like go send it, but it's a marathon, so anything can happen. So I think I have the strength to go um, a bit quicker in the second half. But yeah, we'll see what happens. And I think we have Burt Marathon coming up. I haven't registered. I think I'm gonna do it. It's There's a bigger chance, but we
Mm.
just need to find out how I'm gonna get in. So that's what's next. And then there's a Singapore Marathon coming up. There's a gig on December, a humid marathon. But it's still not confirmed. But yeah, so two more marathons to go. Oh, there's Kalgoorlie, so three.
Mm.
But the other one is side quest. The
Yeah,
Perth
yeah.
Marathon would probably be an A race, the Perth
Mm-hmm.
Marathon, because it's a state championship,
Yeah.
and then Singapore just run a good race to end the year. Um, and also yeah, just some a lot of track races next year. Maybe just try and get faster. Um, actually, trying to consider the 65K ultra, but yeah, it's dumb. I already
Yeah,
talked
it's dumb.
to my coach. He can't do that. Like the next one after like a PB marathon. It's too dumb. Even though like the prize money is kind of tempting. But,
Mm.
yeah, I've been running in trails a lot every Sunday. We have me and Vlad. Yeah, we're cooking on the downhill,
Mm.
but 265K is it's a long way, man.
Yeah, it is. It's a long way, and it's pretty risky. When you think about the
Yeah,
potential injuries that you might
exactly.
get from that. So whether they be from impact injuries or just the sake of running 2,500 meters of elevation and 65 kilometers. So
Yeah.
um,
And I have City to Serve. I remember I registered for City to Serve long time ago.
mm.
So yeah, I just remember that. Okay, definitely not the ultra. Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
four races coming up.
yeah, awesome, mate. I guess you and Tom have had some pretty good battles in the past over, I think, like maybe the half marathon at Joondalup
Yeah,
last year rings a bell for me.
yeah.
Or was it this year? But yeah, yeah. I think what the course record there's 2:47. I think we discovered on the pod on Monday. I don't know what the course profile is like at Kalgoorlie, and if there's anything particularly difficult about it.
I'm pretty sure it's just less than 200-meter vert. I think the course rate is gonna go down on Sunday.
Yeah.
I'm pretty.
Well, hopefully, a bit of prize money there on the cards, and maybe a gold nugget for the course record, maybe.
I mean, it's a win-win for us. If we podium, we still get the money.
Yeah, that's it, man. All right, that sounds awesome. Thanks, Carlos. That's wicked. Awesome to hear. So yeah, we know you've signed up for Melbourne Marathon. I think you've had last week, and this week maybe taking a little bit easier, but things are going to pick up from now. What are you going to do differently in the next kind of 10 to 12 weeks ahead of that?
I was just messaging Tom to go, damn, Carlos has signed up for Cargo.
Oh, yeah, he probably already knows.
Yeah.
He's been looking at the start list all week.
Yeah, he's just been refreshing the start list.
Refreshing
So
it.
no, Carlos's
No.
name's got to just pop up. So this week, this week will be chill. I'm not currently on the program I wasn't on the program last week or this week, but things will start next week. So I guess what the tweaks that we'll do is going to be around, I guess, the workouts being harder, so very similar to Loz, and perhaps trying to train on a bit of undulation, particularly for the Saturday sessions. So it's probably just us heading up north, Loz, I think, on Saturday to do those sessions. I think the biggest change will also be now that I've had a training block under my belt under Tina, focusing on some floats rather than the jog recoveries that I've been doing for a lot of my sessions. So just building a bit of strength in my running, I think. And I've been quite lucky that, I've been quite durable. Over the last 10 months, I haven't had any niggles or injury concerns. So I think we'll just experiment with a couple of differences in training. We're going to aim for 6 weeks of 140Ks and see how I fare. So long runs, perhaps on a warmer part of the day rather than the 4 a.m. runs. And really, it's just training hard and see where I fit by the end of it. It is interesting because I think I've had a couple of chats to different people around, what would be my mindset coming into Melbourne. Particularly if I get really fit or fitter than what I did for Gold Coast. So whether or not I focus on just getting the sub 3 done and enjoying the experience, or running to what I think I deserve or what I'm capable based on my fitness. So I think for the time being, I'll train really hard, because I think if I just think about, I'll just get sub 3 done, I'll be quite complacent in my training. I think I'll just train hard, train to be fitter, and then race plans can be part of the conversation in the weeks leading into the race.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think just as Karlos has just said, I mean, not calling Karlos a sandbagger, but there's some value in executing a marathon like from start to finish and feeling strong at the end of it, regardless of what you think you could run.
Yeah.
I think even if maybe you're capable of running a 250 or 252, whatever, but yeah, if executing a strong marathon, I think you'll gain a lot of confidence from doing that. Maybe more than going out hard and potentially holding on for dear life, toward the end.
Yeah, definitely.
But no, that's exciting, mate. I'm actually a little bit jealous. I wish I was running Melbourne in a few weeks, but that's definitely not going to happen for me. So, cool. Rosie, how's the leg post race? Hopefully nothing too serious. But have you had anyone look at it yet?
Yeah, I literally made the appointment with physio while I was sitting at Brisbane Airport. So got some rehab, tried a run yesterday and didn't go to plan, but going to try again tomorrow and just see how that's feeling. I say a run all 2Ks. Hoping to be able to kind of leverage some of this fitness, and I've got an entry for Perth Marathon. So if I'm okay and not injured, get back on program hopefully shortly and get back on the train for Perth. But we'll just see. I'm pragmatic. I don't really want to go into it half ready or still with niggles. So we'll just see. So that's the vague plan. Otherwise, I don't know, maybe Bunbury or something in the new year.
Well, the lighthouse is always calling, so it's always looking for another victim. Yeah,
there you go.
No, that's cool. So the kind of pain that you're feeling at the moment, is it a kind of tendinopathy, or is
exactly
it something
tendinopathy? Can't say the word. Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
So lots of
Okay, cool.
things
Well,
with a fitball at the moment to try and strengthen it gently.
Yeah, and look, there is a bit of time, a fair bit of time before Perth, and you've got a lot of fitness already, so you probably won't need a lot to pull yourself together and get there to the start line. So hopefully a quick recovery, Rosie. Loz, so I think you mentioned just before Sydney on the cards. I wasn't aware that was happening, but was that a decision that came after the race or something that you had planned earlier?
No, I planned this earlier, and I didn't probably look really closely at the weeks apart. Something I sometimes do. I wanted to do Sydney last year, and I got an amazing opportunity to do another race in Europe, so I declined my spot for Sydney. However, it's something I really want to do, and it's a Australian Championships, so I really want to get my spot on the WA team, and so I have put my application in for that. And yeah, hopefully I get the WA singlet, and then I can try and run my best for the state, and I just want to have a nice time over there, and have the best race I can on the day. There won't be a PB there, and I just want to get there healthy and fit and strong, and have a good run there. So yeah, that's the plan going ahead. It is close. I mean, it's 6 weeks this Sunday, and I had to have a week off last week, as in, usually after a marathon I always have 2 weeks easy, and I have felt not too bad. I'm a bit tight in my back and glutes. I think that's the general feeling after the plane ride, and as I'm getting older, I think it's probably taking its toll a bit more on my body. However, I'm getting a massage, and I think I'm looking after myself, so I'll be ready. I'm just going over with my mum, so that would be nice for me and mum to go to Sydney just for the weekend. So if anything else, I'm just going to try and make it a mum and daughter weekend. And sorry, mum, just come along, and I'll probably get stressed out again, but I'll try not to. And yeah, and see what happens after that. I mean, I love the Perth Marathon too. So I don't know. I haven't really said anything about this with Tina. However, it's close to my heart, the Perth Marathon. So I'll just have to play it by ear. I don't have an entry for that. It's have to wait and see. So.
Well, something tells me we'll see you at Perth too. So, no, I feel like Sydney. You haven't done Sydney before.
No,
Loz?
I don't think. Like, I'm not a fan of hills. I've got to be honest. I need to get to do my tempo runs down along the coast, if I can work that out with Scott, to get down there Saturday mornings rather than Lake Munga or the river, which is closer for me. However, I need to try and do my marathon pace sessions, and it's only a few really, along the coast, like heading towards maybe north, that's the right way, that way. And I also need to change up my Tuesday mornings. I want to try and head to the Green Mile and just run up and down that. I'm not going to look at pace. I just want to try and see how I can. I mean, I think the hills are rolling from what I've heard from friends and things. So I hope that I'll be able to be okay with that. So
Awesome. I mean, there's nothing overtly steep about the hills in Sydney. Like, I did it last year, and they are rolling. So they're reasonably mild incline. There's one reasonably kind of a longish hill at 18 kilometres, which can be the downfall of a lot of people. But I for some reason, I feel like that course will suit you, Loz. I think it's I don't know what it is about you or about the course, but I feel like you might be able to absolutely punish the downhills on that course and take advantage of them. So
yeah, well, and I think not be so fixated on your pace like I do. I think that's another positive thing I can remember, to just go with the feeling of the run, which I do like doing. So to not be so focused on my paces every kilometre, and just try and go with it. Yeah,
definitely. And I think there's probably going to be twice as many runners at Sydney than there was at Gold Coast on last weekend.
Yeah, so, and definitely not go out as hot as I did, and maybe find like this 250 pacer and just hang with them. With a smart thing to do.
Well, I tell you, the first couple of Ks are straight downhill. So
oh no, 330s. Here I come.
Yeah. No, you go down toward the Harbour Bridge, and it's just a full sendy. So
not
as
good
long
for
as
me.
as long as you can keep your effort in check there, I think you'll be good.
That's okay. As long as they have a nice, maybe a cocktail afterwards as well, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Expresso martini.
Oh, not those anymore. No, I'm one and done.
No. Very good.
You weren't even there, Simon. Were you at the pub, Simon? Yeah, you were at the pub.
I was there. You were.
Loz doesn't remember.
Loz doesn't remember.
You turned up a bit late.
I did turn up a bit late. Yes.
It's all right. You were there.
No, cool. No, awesome, guys. Look, I think we'll wrap it up there. been an awesome episode, hearing from all of you, an awesome series. It's been super fun kind of facilitating the conversation, but just hearing the stories and everything has been like, incredible experience for me. Before we say goodbye, I just want to say a massive thanks to the sponsors of the training series. So Raf, Sam and the team at Running Centre, thank you guys for getting on board and providing all the athletes with shoes to train with in the lead up to Gold Coast Marathon. Your support has been absolutely crucial, and Raf's support on course on Sunday also provided a bit of get up and about for everybody that turned up. Hopefully the listeners got to take advantage of the discount code WARP15 for 15% off all the online purchases at TRC. Not sure how long that discount code will be eligible for. So if you're listening to this in a few days' time, I'd jump on as quick as you can and make sure you can take advantage of that. And if you're not shopping online, get down to the running centre and get Sam to fit you for a pair of shoes. Be great to see. And of course, again, Vlad, thanks for partnering with us again, mate, on another training series. This time with Bix and Reach. It's been really important, and the discussions we've had through the course of this series, I think we've all learned a lot about fuel, about recovery, and so have the listeners. Saw so many Bix hats on the course and around town on Gold Coast, which was incredible to see. Obviously, things are taking off, and I've even seen a few unboxing videos with people finding little goodie packs using that warp code of for 20% off online purchases, which is as good for in perpetuity as far as I'm aware. Again, those singlets were something else. Hopefully, Vlad can get those singlets available for purchase soon, because they were pretty special bit of kit to be wearing on race day. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure to learn about all of you and your training over the course of the past few months. All of you should be immensely proud of what you've achieved. It's no mean feat putting it all on the line for a bunch of strangers to listen to on Spotify every few weeks. Karlos, Lauren, Rosie, Simon, wish you all the best for your future training and races. I'll certainly be following along, and whether it be Sydney Marathon, Perth Running Festival, Kalgoorlie Pipeline, Melbourne Marathon, there'll be something to follow in the next few months, and looking forward to seeing where this journey takes you. Thank you all for joining us on the Road to Paradise Gold Coast Marathon Training Series. We'll see everyone next time.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Thank you, guys.
It's time to farm some more aura leading up to Christmas.
I think so.
Yes, sir.
So no more marathons, Chris. Maddie says no.
Yeah, no, not for 2 more years. I'll wait till I'm 40.
Okay.
Plenty of years ahead of you.
Yeah. Boston Marathon with Brian in 2027.
Yeah, that's the word.
Boston.
The Road to Paradise Gold Coast Training Series is brought to you by the Running Centre. Whether it's the latest shoes, nutrition, gear, or their personalised biofit process to help pick the right shoe for you, the experts at TRC are the ones to trust to help you achieve your running goals. Use code WARP15 for 15% off your purchase via the TRC online store, excluding electronics and nutrition. The Running Centre. Let's move together.